Hey YouTube, happy Sunday. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and that you were able to eat some yummy food. Today, what time is it? Like 6 hours, I'm going on a little vacation and I'm really excited about it. And I wanted to stream before I go because this is like my favorite hobby and I miss it after not doing it for like 3 days, let alone a week and a half. So I wanted to get another one in. Oh, look at all these friends already. How fun. DC says, I'm lurking, but happy to catch a live. Hi, DC. Thank you for joining. Subscribe to DC, please. Go subscribe to her right now. She's fantastic. Cena. Hello, Heather. Hi, DC. Hi, Cena. Thank you for coming. Happy Sunday, Charlie. Thank you. I hit the like button around 8 this morning. Aw, thank you, Gary. That's nice. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. Hi, Live Panic. Thank you for joining. And then DC saying hi to everyone in the chat. How fun. Thanks for joining me on this Sunday morning. So, if you were here at the last stream I did with Anne Marie, my internet is messed and thankfully her commentary carried the whole thing. She's fantastic and I'm glad you guys still got some value out of that. I have an Eric Worre video here that's kind of like a continuation of that video and I really wanted to do it, but I was testing it and like I think it works better if my camera is off while it's playing and it still might cut out here and there, but that's okay, like, it's gonna happen, and if my camera's off, it seems to cut out less often, and then I can just turn my camera back on when we're doing the commentary. So I think I wanna try. I want to give it a shot, and then if it doesn't work, I have kind of a random backup plan that is not really anti-MLM related, but I think it's interesting. It's coaching related. And I also found if it's not in full screen, then it also works better. So I hope that plan is okay for everyone. And sorry, Hall's here. Hi, Hall. Sorry, I got distracted when I saw Hall. Hi, Hall. Thanks for coming. We don't mind tech difficulties. All the best creators have them. Yeah. And thankfully, Anne Marie's brilliant on camera. And so, like, it was still a good video. But yeah, so I think I want to give it a shot. And then I'll just turn my camera off, turn it back on when I want to talk. And I think that should work better. Yeah, hopefully. So if that's okay with everyone, I think I'm going to get started. Stop my camera. And then I'm going to press play without it in full screen. Okay, let's try this.
The first day I joined network marketing, I wish somebody would have sat me down and started to drill some of these concepts into my head, because the understanding of this is the ability to unlock your future. Okay, and there's kind of 5 levels of success. If I were just to describe it to you, 5 levels in network marketing. Level number 1, 0 to 25,000. And the characteristic of that is follow instructions. Do as you're told. Your company wishes you to do. Just follow instructions. Follow instructions.
So I see my internet still isn't fantastic, but let me know if you guys can like catch what he's saying. If not, we can always go to my little backup plan. But he's telling us about 3 different levels of success, and the first one is 0 to 25,000. And for that, all you have to do is just do what you're told, follow instructions, and then you can get to that level of success. I think it's comical that he's telling us that $0 is part of a level of success, and that's a way to tell people, look, you're just in your first stage of your business and you can expect to have huge amounts of success right out the gate, sorry. And you you're just in your first level. You just have to follow instructions and then you'll get out of your first level of success, right? And I wonder how many people in MLM who worked their asses off, who followed the directions of their uplines perfectly and were not able to make $25,000. $25,000 is an extraordinary amount for anyone in an MLM, let alone just like your average person coming in and just following instructions. Because we know back in the day, I did a bunch of videos on the Beachbody Success Club tracker, and you can follow those instructions perfectly, but it's not going to matter if you can't recruit hundreds of people. And those people need to also recruit hundreds of people as well. So this is bullshit, Eric, and you know it is. It's fine, just let it play. Okay, cool. I do want to stop between each level of success though, but like I will try my best to let it play for a bit longer than usual. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Hi, Julie. Happy Easter to you. And anyone who's been in an MLM who doesn't feel weird about sharing this, when you followed the instructions of your upline and you did what they told you to do, were you able to make up to $25,000? My guess is probably not, especially when we look at the income disclosure statements and we see that like 99% of people in these companies barely make any money. People are lucky to make $1,000 in a year. And $25,000 is a really, really like great part-time income. At least where I live and in a lot of cities in Canada, that's a great part-time income. And it's just it's misleading to make people think that all they have to do is follow directions and then they can make a fantastic part-time income. Oh, got you. Just meant you don't have to keep apologizing, but pause wherever you want. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know, Lift Panic. He'd lose me here if I were making zero yet following all instructions. I decide he didn't know what he was talking about, right? Right? Yeah, totally. Completely agree. Such bullshit. So I'm going to turn my camera off and we're going to let it play.
Work out, follow instructions, just kind of be a good soldier and everything's going to be fine. That's rule, level number one. Level number two is 25 to 100,000 a year. And this is just hard work. Put your head down, work your butt off, hard work. Now listen, this is the crazy part of network marketing is, what do we talk about? Throw into the chat. What do we tell people that network marketing is going to provide for you? What do we tell them? What is network marketing going to provide for you? Put it into the chat. What's it going to provide for you? You join this business, it's going to provide peace, okay? Freedom, time freedom, financial and time freedom. Freedom, 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 leverage, income, community, the ability to design your life, legacy, connection.
So the next range of success here is, I think you said 25 to 100K. And the part that defines this stage of success is just simply hard work. That's outrageous. We know you can work. I'm going to say this a million times. You can work 20 hours a day and it's not going to matter in an MLM. And I think this is just a great way to victim blame and potentially gaslight people who were told that they can come in and make 25 to 100K per year just by working hard. And they might think, well, I work hard, I can make this much money in a year, so I'm going to go in and find success. And they work their asses off. And then, well, you just didn't work hard enough. It's your fault you're not making six figures yet. Or you're told all you have to do is just follow my instructions and then you can make up to $25,000 a year. Well, I'm great at following instructions. I'm going to go. I'm going to join and I'm just going to do what my upline tells me to do. And then you do, and then you're told, well, you just didn't follow instructions well enough. It's your fault you're not making $25,000 a year. And it's outrageous. It's very, like, in my opinion, like subtle victim blaming to have a layout like this showing the different levels of success. And I'm kind of jumping around, but I never saw anyone define success as specific range of dollars. How ridiculous, right? right? It's so weird. It's so strange. I agree that pausing is fine. I came for the commentary. Oh, good. Thank you. Step 3, become a scammy coach. Right? Right. And it's so interesting. They talk about how much success, sorry, they being MLM coaches, how much success they've had in the MLM industry. But then if you found so much success, why aren't you building? Why aren't you continuing to build your downline? It's because you saw that you can make more money in the coaching, in the re-victimizing already victimized financially vulnerable people and putting them into even greater debt, because all of these coaches, every single one of these coaches says that they have the one brilliant answer, that they're doing network marketing differently, and if you follow them, you're going to have, like he just said, freedom, leverage, peace, connections, financial freedom. You're going to be able to stay at home with your family all day, and they're the only answer. They're the only way you can find your level of success that you want. Drives me crazy. Nothing about quality of life or number of trips to Disneyland, right, Gary? or like those Karen and Paul, whatever, in Amway. They're like going for a week to have coffee and cake with their friends, right? Hi. Oh, Hall saying hi to DC. Nice. Re-victimizing. Brilliant, Heather. Oh, thank you, Gary. It's just re-victimizing people who are already targeted for this really predatory industry, and it's extra predatory because it's like it's a scam within the scam, you know? Drives me crazy. Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Friendship. What do you see as a theme? Freedom, time freedom, lots of money. Well, here's the big fake out in network marketing. From 0 to 100,000, you have the opposite of freedom. You don't have freedom. You don't have time freedom. Are you kidding me? You're working 10 times harder than anybody else works that you know. You're putting in more time, doing all this stuff. Your life is swung way out of balance. You don't have time to think. It's just, how many know what I'm talking about? 0 to 100,000. You know what I'm talking about? This is for real, right? So
apparently we do not have time freedom, even if we're making up to $100,000 a year. So say we're one of the lucky ones who can make $75,000 a year, which in most places that is a fantastic salary. I'm thinking like New York City. That might not be enough for you to like provide for your family, because New York City, Toronto, I don't know, Seattle's extremely expensive place to live as well. That might not be enough there, but in your average city, $75,000 is a wonderful salary. And so if you are in an average work environment and you have $75,000, you are able to put aside lots of money for your pension, for retirement. You can do nice things with your kids. You can sign them up for fun activities, and you probably have a good work-life balance, a great quality of life, probably, if you don't have any extenuating circumstances, right? But in the MLM world, according to him, if you're one of the lucky ones to make $75,000 in a year, like in pure profit, you still do not have actual time freedom, because unless you're at the very top of these companies, you have to work constantly to make sure that your business, that your downline doesn't fall apart. Because if one person quits, if a couple people drop rank, you're screwed. You're dropping rank, you're not getting your bonuses, and your income can just be slashed in half. So, sir, at what point do we need to get to in order to have actual financial freedom? And also, how in the world do you define financial freedom? Is it just you don't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck? Is it that you have a large emergency fund in case something comes up with your kids? Is it that you're able to take your kids on a nice vacation once a year? I feel like financial freedom, the financial aspect, means different things for different people. But I feel like in the MLM world, it's more of like you will have millions of dollars. You can do anything you want with your money at any time. But I feel like it's different for everyone. Let's keep going.
Oh, you're like, wait a minute, maybe network marketing doesn't work. Maybe something's wrong with me. Anybody ever thought that something was wrong with them? Anybody? Anybody still kind of wondering? I don't know. Narita's saying, I don't know, maybe.
Of course they're wondering if something's wrong with them because they're told if they're not making $1 million, it's their fault because they have all of the resources and information and support available to them. And if they can't make it work, then something is wrong with them. That's why we have personal development. Right? That's why they're told you're not making any money. Oh, go do more personal development. Read a freaking Tony Robbins book. Go to his conference. Put yourself into even greater debt so you can make yourself in my image. No, wait, what am I trying to say? Go to Tony Robbins events so you can change yourself in order to be the kind of person that could potentially have success in network marketing. Why am I blabbing so much? Is this another presentation where there's no live audience and all of the applause is canned? Maybe, I don't know. This is one of his events, so there's like virtual people behind him. I'm assuming there's probably someone in the audience, but I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't tell us when this was. I'm not sure. Good question though. Okay, let's keep going.
But look, here's the thing. There is the ability to get freedom, time freedom, money freedom, choices, options, but you don't get to have it in stage 1 and 2. That comes after stage 1 and 2. So all of you need to understand this. If you're wondering there's something wrong with you, or if you're wondering what in the heck, I'm trying to figure this out and I'm working harder. You're stretching your family to the limits. You're stretching yourself to the limits. I promise you all of that stuff is worth it, but you have to know that phase 1 and 2 is just grit, toughness. You got to be tough. You got to be like an animal to get through 1 and 2. Like 1's not so bad. You just follow instructions, make a few bucks. But then typically once you get to a couple thousand, hey, I'm going for this. Boom. You go full time or something. And or one spouse quits their job and off you go. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, I thought I was going to have duplication.
So he's saying in the first 2 levels, we need to have grit and toughness, and we're going to stretch our families to the limit. Why? So 25 to 100K, we get through the second stage of success after 100K. So to make $26,000 in a year, we have to stretch our family to the limit. Why? And we know because in MLM, you don't actually have time freedom until you're at the very top of the pyramid and you have thousands of people losing money beneath you in order for you to make your money. And so what was my point? You have to have time away from your family. You're missing out on memories with your kids, with your spouse, with your significant other to make a really solid part-time income while working full-time. Because $26,000 in a year is great if you're working 12 hours a week, 20 hours a week, you're working at Walmart, you're babysitting, maybe you have multiple part-time jobs here and there, right? And you're just working part-time hours. That's wonderful, wonderful income, but not if you're working 1 million hours a week and missing out on time with your family and your spouse. I don't like it. I don't think there's an audience. The applause is off. Maybe. This is a really creepy approach. And all we have to do is just have grit and toughness, right? And so people who have been in for like 12 years and who are worrying about how this is impacting their relationship with their spouse, they're going to sit there and think like, well, I've been in for 10 years, 12 years, and I'm still not making $26,000 a year. I just must not be tough enough. And it's really interesting how he's saying, well, we often just think there's something wrong with us. Well, yeah, you're insinuating that, Eric, because you're insinuating if you don't make 25 to 100K in network marketing, that you are not tough enough and you do not have enough grit to get there. Why do we need grit? To make a solid part-time income. We should be able to just work part-time and make our solid part-time income. We don't need to have grit, in my opinion. So silly. Let's keep going.
My first 3.5 years in network marketing, I did every single thing for my team. I did all the presentations. I did all the follow-up. I did all the three-way calls. I did all the trainings. I did all the getting started conversations. I woke people up in the morning. I put them to bed at night. I made sure everybody attended the events. I made sure everybody was on the Zoom call. I made sure. And I was exhausted for 3 years trying to figure out. And during this period of time, I had almost zero duplication for 3.
So when they say almost zero duplication, all that means is that the people in your downline are not exhibiting the same behaviors that you're exhibiting as their leader. And so he's saying for the first 3 years, he had to do everything for his team pretty much. He was not duplicating his recruiting behaviors. And so he had to get on calls with his downline to do three-way calls and recruit people for his downline. You know what I mean? Like go into the calls and help his downline recruit people. And it's so interesting. Live Panic just said he's actually making network marketing sound like the drudgery that it is. Yeah. So he was in for 3.5 years. He had to do everything for his team. He had to pressure them to come to the events, to recruit. He had to get on the recruiting calls because he had not yet duplicated their behavior. And he's going to say the next level of success is all about duplication. And all that means is your downline is recruiting people who are recruiting people who are recruiting people and so on. In MLM, it's a great thing to duplicate yourself because you would be your best recruit, right? And so for you to be a good leader, you want to have 100 versions of you in your downline because that's the only way you're going to make lots of money. That's a great point, Live Panic.
3.5 years. I was the only constant. I was the only one it felt like that was working. And I had a bunch of dead fish in my organization looking at me. And then they're blaming me.
So you felt like you were the only one that was working and you had a bunch of dead fish in your organization looking at you. That's a really good representation of the level of resentment that could come up in these MLM organizations, especially if you feel like your people aren't working, you feel like you can't rank advance because it's not actually within your control. It's all based off of the efforts of your downline and that your downline actually getting to and maintaining a certain rank. Also, if you have a certain person who has, say, they have to get to diamond for you to get to 15-star diamond in Beachbody, and then that person drops rank, you could feel resentment, you could feel frustration towards them for not doing what they need to do in order for you to achieve your goal. Nothing in MLM is in your control at all. And then Charlie just said, calling his downline dead fish. Way to go, Eric. Right? We've heard people say, like, we need fresh blood. We need fresh meat in our downline. So gross. It's such a weird way to describe humans. And we also hear sometimes you have to sow your seeds. You have to reap your harvest. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm a person. I'm not like some corn, you know? So strange.
For their problems too. It wasn't just that they weren't working, they were blaming me too. So people would quit, people would go, come, people would quit, people would come, and no duplication. I knew my team too well. Any of you know your teams too well? Stacy, you know your team too well? Jeff, you know your team too well? It's too much, right? It's like, I used to go to the events and I used to see people go up on stage and say, oh, I just met a brand new person who's 48 levels below me at the convention. And they got to the top rank and I just I got to meet them and I got to congratulate them. I was like, screw you, 48 levels? I mean, I can get maybe to 3, but I can't get to 48.
So he's telling us how people were blaming him, his downline were blaming him for their lack of success, and they weren't working, but then they were also blaming him. And I think that's a reasonable thing to happen, because when you join, you're told that your upline will be there for you and will help you figure out how to run your business, because we're not in business by ourselves, we're in business for ourselves, right? And so I think that's a natural thing, especially when your downline is lying to you, your upline, sorry, lies to you and says, all you have to do is work hard and have grit, and then you can make $25,000 to $100,000 a year. I'll show you how. And then you come in and you realize you were lied to. I think that's a natural reaction to being lied to and being deceived, Eric. Also, he said, oh, screw you, 48 levels down. Why do you care? Why do you care if someone cares enough or cares to talk to someone 48 levels down in their organization who's making lots of money? The actions of other leaders should not be impacting you, Eric, but for some reason you're resentful for other people, to other people who want to talk to people deep in their organization. It shouldn't matter what other people are doing. Hi, Carol. How's it going today? We're just watching an Eric Worre video. Thank you for joining. If your downline, which you recruited, is wobbly, whose fault is that, Eric? You perhaps aren't the mighty engine you purport to be. Yes. And just like, say you are like, you're in your job, you have your manager, and like, say they didn't give you great instructions, but you felt confident in the task, and you go off and you do it, and you do what you think you're supposed to do, but then you realize the instructions you received weren't that great. That's not just a reflection on you. Like, you still have to do good, high quality work, but it's also a reflection on your leader who did not give you full proper instruction. So you're right. If Eric's downline is not performing, whose fault is that? He's the leader. He's supposed to be walking hand in hand with them. That's a great point. Hi, Lilac Llama. Thank you for joining. We're just watching an Eric Worre video. Okay, let's keep going.
How does that happen? Where do they find these magical people that just work with or without them? Because I wasn't able to find any. Right? So level 3 is 100 to about 250. And that is all about duplication. Duplication, here's my promise for you. If you'll go through the grit, of levels 1 and 2, duplication will show up. Duplication will show up. And finally, I cracked the code, and I finally had some duplication. And it was like,
there's no guarantee that duplication is going to show up through the first 2 stages, because you could get to $98,000 in the hard work number 2 stage, and you could start to have some big leaders who are recruiting loads and loads of people. But then if those people fall off, you are not going to have your duplication anymore, right? Everything in MLM is so fragile. All you need is just one person to drop off, and you don't have someone to replace them, and then your duplication is gone. I brought this video up 1,000 times. I think it's definitely my favorite one I've ever done. It's on, I named it like How to Survive Your Diamond Qual. And she told us that you literally need to have people, your diamond qual in Beachbody. She told us that to survive your 6-week diamond qualification, you need to have people ready on the bench to slot into your positions in case people quit or don't stay active. And so the only way that you can maintain your diamond rank through that 6-week period is if you call in favors with your loved ones and your family and friends, and make sure that they're ready to go. They're ready to purchase. They're ready to sign up as a coach so you don't drop rank. Just shows duplication is fake. I think Lilac Llama just said duplication is a lie, because it's fake duplication. It's fake. This is the most misleading collection of garbage I've seen lately, right? And you could have duplication for a few months and then it's gone. You can lose your entire livelihood in MLM in like 3 days. Or your company can just decide to terminate your account. It's crazy.
like, oh my gosh, this is what they were talking about all that time. And I finally started to have people successful with or without me. I was still the leader. I was still driving the culture of the organization, but people were working when I was sleeping for the first time. Oh my God, it was amazing. So I learned some duplication concepts. We're going to talk about duplication concepts. Number 4 is 250 to $1 million. This level is all about promotion. Now, do you work hard at all levels? Yes. Do you try to provide duplication opportunities in all levels? Yes. Should you be a great promoter at all levels? Yes. But I will tell you what really separates people once they get to the 250 or so is they become just world-class promoters. World-class.
Tell us what you mean. What does that mean? I listened to this a bunch of times, and he's not going to tell us. They become world-class promoters? Does that mean they like advertise the opportunity on their Instagram? They have a lot of followers who like and they're able to do attraction marketing and people reach out to them to join their company. What does that mean? Because everything else, it's clear. It's like follow instructions 0 to 25, work really hard for number 2, have leaders who recruit a crap ton of people for number 3, and then number 4, promotion. Does anyone know what that means? I don't understand. Or the company can just close without warning. Yes, they can. Oh, world-class douchebags is more accurate. Also, Julie Anderson is fantastic. She does videos on Ray Higdon because she knew Ray personally, and it's really great to see videos about Ray from someone who was close to him, who was in his groups, and it's really like an inside look that no one else can provide. And so if you're interested in learning more about Ray Higdon, I would definitely suggest going to subscribe to Julie Anderson. I listen to all her videos while I'm at work, and they're just great. They're so informative. They're so fantastic. So go subscribe, and also thank you for joining, Julie. Follow instructions, hard work, duplication, and promotion. They're needed at all levels. This makes no sense. Fantastic point. But if we're at number 5, which is probably like $1 million plus, I don't really remember. You don't really need to work hard when you're at the top. When you have like 50,000 people underneath you, you don't really need to work. If you're one of like the founding Beachbody coaches, you can just sit back and collect your paycheck, right? Happy Easter to anyone who celebrates. Happy Easter to you too, Julie. You have to pay for coaching to learn how to promote. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? He says, to get to number 4, I'm the only one who can give you the information and the inspiration to get to 250 to $1 million. Not Fraser Brooks, not Ray Higdon, not Coach Fryer, just me. And then everyone's saying hi to in the comments. Yeah, we're almost done here, but this has been fun. Okay, let's keep going.
And 5, 1 million plus, it's all about leadership, leader development. How many leaders?
Isn't that duplication, Eric? That's duplication. I'll let him finish.
Leaders can you develop inside your organization? Okay. Leader development. Now, of course, we start leader development as early as we can do it. How do you identify a potential leader? How do you measure them in higher levels of success? How do you stay in communication with them? Because it's critically important to stay together. And then how do you duplicate that process? Leaders are the
when we watched our recent Amway video, I don't know how recent it was actually, but they told us that they're big leaders. They don't do anything. They don't make any decisions without counseling with their upline first, without game planning with their upline. And one of the guys, I think it was Doug or Jake, I think it was the How to Go Platinum. He said that people are like, hey, Doug, what do you think about this? Where should I devote my time? Where should I which event should I go to next? And those are the guys, he said, that would go platinum quickest. And so it's so interesting. We're told that we go into these businesses, that we're our own business owners, but then we're told that we have to work constantly with our upline to run our business in the way that they want us to. And it's a huge contradiction. And then saying Beachbody, oh, you're your own CEO, but you must follow the business activity tracker. And that's the only way you're ever going to find actual success. And that's just confusing to me. And what do you think? So he said for 100K to 250 duplication, 1 million plus leader development. I feel like it's the same thing. But if you're getting to $1 million plus, then you need people underneath you who are also making like high six figures in order for you to make high six figures. So I kind of understand what he's saying, but I think this is all bullshit. I think what Live Panic said, you need to be able to duplicate your behavior, your recruitment behavior, even to make $26,000 in an MLM, you need to have people who are out there recruiting constantly, who are building a big ass downline for you to make $25,000. What else did we learn? We learned that if we do not make any money in an MLM, it's not because the industry is set up and designed for us to fail. It's because we don't follow instructions properly. It's our fault because we don't know how to follow directions. And I hate that. I hate it. I feel like I'm just repeating myself because this is all just bullshit. And it's all the same kind of bullshit. Like Julie just said, bingo, it's all bullshit. They expect you to be a leader right from the start as you build your team. And I said this in the video with Anne Marie that the definition of leader in MLM has nothing to do with how we treat people, how we communicate, the kind of guidance we give them. No, it's about the amount of people we're able to recruit. And it doesn't actually matter if we treat them with respect and kindness and we're actually like truly, genuinely invested in their success. It just matters the number of people that we have underneath us. And I don't think everyone has the characteristics to be a leader, like at a bigger scale. I think personally I could lead a smaller group of people at work. Like if I was a supervisor of like 1 or 2 people, that would be fine, but I cannot lead big groups of people. It's just not my personality, and that's fine. Not everyone is built for it. Not everyone can learn how to lead hundreds of people. And in MLM, everyone's a leader. Everyone has the ability to be a leader, and that's just not true. It's not true. Julie, you killed me with that clown doll. I missed the clown doll, but Julia, was it in one of your recent videos? If so, I will go and look. DC, I think I forgot to say hi. Glad you're here. Yeah. So awesome when DC's in the chat for sure. Bingo, it's all bullshit. Is that a cow? I know that's poop, but I don't know what animal that is. Yeah. Okay, so that's all I have. I wanted to make this quick because I'm flying out on my little vacation today. So I'm really excited about it. And I'll go live next Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those days. And I'll when I'm on my way home, I'll make a chat or make a post in my community tab and show you some pictures. I'm really, really excited about it. Oh, hey, DC. DC's still just lurking here. That's awesome. Oh, it's a bull. I hope it's a bull. Gotcha. That makes sense. And my backup plan for this was a coaching lady who teaches women how to travel solo around the world safely. A coaching program for women traveling solo. And that was going to be my backup. So maybe I'll do that when I'm back. You're welcome, Julie. Thanks for joining. Have a great vacay. Thank you, Gary. Have a great vacation. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, cool. That's all I have for today. Thank you for listening to my shorter stream. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you when I'm back from vacation. Bye.